Yes, good afternoon. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Greetings. Tonight we're going to talk about women's health. And we're going to use some herb. We're going to teach about some plants that is very significant for women's issues. Yeah? So in the woman's reproductive system, you have troubles like endometriosis. We're going to teach about some plants that work for that. You have ovarian cyst. You have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. You have troubles in the pituitary gland, what we call hypolactin levels. You have breast cancer. You have ovarian cancer. You have cervical cancer. And you have all type of cancer, uterine cancer and more in the woman's reproductive system. Now, when the woman is on a certain age bracket, if she is feeding her hormones or her reproductive system things that is not compatible to her reproductive system, you, the woman, is going to get troubles there. Yeah? In the reproductive system. You're going to either get a growth in the uterus or in the ovaries, or you're going to start to have troubles in the breast. 1. 2. When the woman gets to be older, or past the age of 50, and now her estrogen level drops, and her progesterone level also drops, she, the woman, now can also get hormonal breast cancer. And it can be ER, estrogen receptor, even though she is not producing estrogen. Meaning that now her pituitary gland is now not functioning with the hypothalamus gland and the adrenal glands. And so that woman can have her adrenals rushing back, sending signals to her pituitary to produce lots of prolactin levels. And they call it the HPA axis in women who have breast cancer and is ER or HER and is over the age of 50. Yeah? Now we in herbal medicine, we can either teach you, the woman, how to prevent these growths in your reproductive system, or we in herbal medicine can teach you, the woman, how to shrink these growths naturally if they are not cancerous. Yeah? So a uterine fibroid don't have to be cancerous, but that uterine fibroid can get into the anterior part of the uterus or the posterior part of the uterus. Now the bigger the fibroids grow into your uterus as a woman, that fibroid can come out of the uterus in the anterior part of the uterus and lean on your bladder, causing you, the woman, to get frequent urination. Yeah? Now the bigger the fibroids, is the more difficult it is for herbs to shrink these growths. Secondly, herbs can shrink fibroids or work to shrink them, and sometimes fibroids don't respond to herbal medicine either. See? Unless the woman is taking care of her digestive system. So for instance, lots of younger women between the age of 15 and 40 is suffering from estrogen dominance. Yeah? And we know that estrogen dominance can cause you, the woman, to get endometriosis, 1, can cause you, the woman, to get PCOS, polycystic syndrome, 2, 3. We know that excessive amount of estrogen can also cause you, the woman, to get troubles in the ovaries And we know for a fact that excessive amount of estrogen can also cause you, the woman, to get breast cancer. We call it ER, breast cancer. What type of estrogen do you, the woman, create in the system to cause breast cancer? Not the natural estrogen, but it is the synthetic one. Yeah? Number one. Number two, if you, the woman, do not have good bowel habits, meaning that your liver is not breaking down estrone into estriol, and you, the woman, is constipated, it is a possibility that you, the woman, now can have what we call recycling estrogen coming back into the portal vessel, and then automatically, if you have fibroids and they're small, they can grow, because we know that fibroids feed on estrogen. One. Two, if you, the woman, is constipated and you have recycling estrogen coming back into the portal vessel, the higher level of that estrogen, synthetic one that is, can come into your receptor as a woman and steal your combination lock and cause your breast tissue to keep on stimulating. Three, if you, the woman, have the HPA axis and your adrenal glands on top of the kidney is sending the wrong signal to your pituitary gland in the brain to produce lots of prolactin levels, the higher prolactin level can cause you, the woman, to get breast cancer by creating enzymes, two enzymes that cause the breast tissue to stimulate. So we're going to teach about some herbs tonight for you, the woman's reproductive system, that can not only help you to prevent uterine cancer, uterine fibroids, ovarian cysts, PCOS, or other troubles, but these herbs we're going to mention tonight can also help you to repair the condition that you have in the reproductive system. Open the door for me, son. All right, so the herbs we're gonna talk about, there's a lot of them, yeah, but we're gonna talk about some special herbs that I use on a regular basis when women have troubles in the reproductive system. Now, we talked about yoni steam. Now, we know for a fact now that the woman's reproductive system have a pH. We know for a fact now that the woman's reproductive system have a pH of what? Of 4.6. Very acidic. So usually, a woman not supposed to have any kind of form of infection in the vagina because of the pH being very acidic. See, at least 3.6, 4.6. But because when a woman have troubles in the gut, and then you have lots of these excessive amount of yeast and fungi coming back into the 450 pathway, we talked about that before, it can go into the bloodstream and cause you, the woman, to have yeast infections, and also caused by what we call nylon panties too, or troubles in the reproductive system, causing you, the woman, to have growths and smell. So we're going to teach you about some herbs tonight that can prevent all these things, okay? All right. Let's go to the first one. So we're talking about herbs for the woman's reproductive system. We're going to talk about 4 of them, but there's lots more we can talk about. You don't go too long, yeah? The first one is called chaste tree. And this herb is very significant for the woman's reproductive system because it works on the pituitary gland. And we said that before. We said that this herb called chaste tree is significant because it helps the pituitary to normalize both luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Yeah? Now these 2 herbs, that particular herb called chaste tree, one that herb, where is it? Right here. You see this herb right here? It is wonderful for women. It does a lot of things too. It's not only good for the pituitary, but it helps the pituitary gland to normalize you, the woman's luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. When these two are normalized, then you, the woman's reproductive organs work better, because once they are both normalized, your estrogen level and your progesterone level become balanced. So it helps your ovaries. Yeah? That's how this herb works. But it not only works on the brain, it also works on different parts of the endocrine glands. Let's look at them now. The first thing we use this herb for is for menopausal symptoms. When a woman is going through menopause and she has PMS, premenstrual syndrome, we can mix this herb with another herb called blue vervain. We can do mother's wort. We can do false unicorn. But it also helps with hot flashes. Yeah? When there is too much heat in the blood or in the nerves, and the nerves send the heat into the bloodstream, you get hot flashes, especially when you have a low level of estrogen. Yeah? Past the age of 50. It's also good for PMS. It is also good for anxiety. Now, women who's going through menopause and have anxiety or symptoms of PMS, they can also have skin crawling. Yeah? This herb called chaise tree is also good for that, for skin crawling in women who go through menopause. So although it can be used for young women who have amenorrhea, or what we call menorrhagia, it can also be used for older women who is going through menopause and going through hot flashes, PMS, menopausal anxiety, skin crawling, mood swings. It's good for that, all those things, yeah? And much more too. This herb called chaise tree also lowers prolactin levels. And we just mentioned before that once you have the HPA axis, your adrenals can send the wrong signal back to the pituitary and causing the pituitary gland to produce lots of prolactin levels. Producing what we call lactation. But can also cause you, the woman, to get breast cancer, because the excessive amount of prolactin level can stimulate two enzymes that can stimulate your breast tissue, causing you, the woman, to get breast cancer long term. And breast cancer is on the rise in lots of young women today. So chaise tree also lowers prolactin levels while binding with dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter in the brain. So lots of people who have what we call Parkinson's disease, because they have a low level of dopamine in the brain. But this herb called chaise tree berries, it lowers your prolactin level as a woman, so it prevents you from getting breast cancer long term. It also binds with dopamine and the opioid receptors called endorphins. That's how this herb works. I always use this herb also for endometriosis. Women who have this condition become infertile because this condition called endometriosis, it destroys the woman's reproductive system and causes the woman to have what we call dysmenorrhea, lots of period pain, because when you're having a period, that blood goes up in the pelvic cavity and form these balls in your tissues and cause you to get lots of period pain because of endometriosis. And this condition called endometriosis can also cause you, the woman, to have scarring of the intestines, causing you, the woman, to be constipated. But endometriosis is coming from estrogen dominance. See? This herb called chaise tree can also be used for infertility. Yeah? It also can be used for ovarian cysts. Why? Because it normalizes the luteinizing hormone with the follicle stimulating hormone. And when they normalize, both your estrogen and progesterone is normalized. So then the ovaries become balanced. And you start producing your eggs. And it's also good for fibroids. Because once you can balance your luteinizing hormone and your follicle stimulating hormone as a woman, yeah, you would never be suffering from estrogen dominance. Eating in food that have lots of it too: eggs, cheese, milk, plastic bowls, plastic cups. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Next one is called cypress root. And the cypress root is a Chinese herb called yang fu. And yang fu, or cypress root, is very significant, and that's the reason why I put it in my fibroid formula right here, son. I put it in the fibroid formula, and I put it in the woman's balance. Why? Because it regulates your qi. Yeah? It increases the jing, J-I-N-G. Yeah? It is good for people, a woman who have pain in the abdomen from dysmenorrhea. It is also good for GI stagnation. So it's not only good for women only, you know. It's good for a lot of things. It's good for gas. So once you have GI, means gastrointestinal stagnation. These symptoms of GI stagnation is gas, bloated feeling, cramping, vomiting, nauseated feeling. That's what we call GI stagnation. This herb called cypress root, or yang fu, is very significant for these conditions. It is also good for uterine pain. This herb is also good for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. It helps to shrink fibroids. And this is also significant for endometriosis. If you follow the program we have to balance back the woman's reproductive system, that's how cypress root works. Yeah? Yang fu. Yeah? Now, let's go to number 4, dang kui. Lots of people feel that this herb is called Chinese angelica. A lot of people feel that this herb is only a woman plant, you know. But you're going to get some more information than what this herb do, you know. The benefits of dang kui or Chinese angelica: it moves the blood. So once a woman have stagnation of the blood, she's not seeing a period, what we call amenorrhea, yeah, no period. This herb will help to move the blood because it deals with blood stasis. It moves the blood. It is also good for premenstrual syndrome. When you're going through menopause, or you're having a period, you get PMS. This herb is good for that. It is also good for dysmenorrhea, period pain. You know what I mean? And it is also good for ovarian cyst. So if it works on ovarian cysts or shrinking these cysts, it is also good for PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, because we know for a fact now that when you have PCOS, your doctor or gynecologist would put you on a drug called metformin, which is for diabetes, because they are treating you, the woman, for insulin resistance. Yeah? But when you have PCOS, we put you on the woman's program, and because we know now that the pituitary gland is the gland that feeds the pancreas from the middle part of the gland, what we call the hormone called what? Insulin. We know we have to go to the pituitary gland. So we go back to this over here. Come over here. Chase tree. So once you have PCOS, we don't go to the pancreas. We go to the pituitary gland, because we know for a fact that the pituitary controls the pancreas, the pituitary controls the thyroid gland, the pituitary controls the adrenals, the pituitary controls the ovaries. It also controls the kidney in terms of water balance. So we must go to that plant if we are going to use to fix ovarian cysts, or if we're going to fix PCOS. So dang kui or angelica works on moving the blood, premenstrual syndrome, amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, ovarian cysts, angina. We're going to cross off angina. So we're going to go right over here and cross it off. This is just for women's health, yeah? Yeah? So when you have uterine stagnation and you're having period pain, we call dysmenorrhea, we can give you some plants that stop the pain like white willow bark or Jamaican dogwood. But because this herb moves the blood, it prevents the blood stasis, and you, the woman, don't have blood clots no more because the blood keep on moving. But we don't only use it for women's health. I use this herb for people, men and women, who have angina, pain in the chest. I also use this herb for when a man and a woman have congestive heart failure. I also use this herb for circulation to the heart muscle. And I also use this herb to shrink fibroids. So if you have congestive heart failure and you have angina, meaning you have a blockage in the arteries and you get pain in your chest, I don't put no pill under your tongue. The nitrate pills, I don't give you that because I don't fix shit. You see what I'm saying? I give you Danqui, and I give you Horton, and I give you Astragalus, and I give you turmeric, and I give you Danshen. And what these herbs do, they fix your CHF, congestive heart failure, and they clean up the arteries, so they fix your angina. So it's not only a woman's plant. Don't forget that. These plants are talk about Danqui is a woman plant. Saw-palmetto is a man plant. That's not true. Saw-palmetto works for women also, and saw-palmetto works for men also. Saw-palmetto works on the immune system, and saw-palmetto also works on your lung for different conditions of the lung. So when we have St. John's wort, St. John's wort is the depression herb. That's not true either. St. John's wort can be used for mild to moderate depression, but St. John's wort have a compound called hyperacin that also can work on the nerves. But St. John's wort also have antiviral activity that can be used for herpes, cytomegalovirus, hepatitis B virus, HIV, HTLV, because it have antiviral activity. So we seem to have this herb as a woman plant and the saw-palmetto plant as a man plant, but in reality, this herb can do different things to both men and women. All right, let's go to the next one. We're going to two more. False unicorn. I use this plant when a woman is pregnant, and when she's in the third or the fourth trimester, and she's taking another herb called raspberry leaves that helps to tonify and strengthen the uterus, preventing miscarriages. I use this herb called false unicorn for that. Yeah? But I also use this herb called false unicorn with another herb called golden seal to help the woman with the same raspberry leaves. So when the woman is ready to have a baby, this herb helps to now make her have a good and fast delivery without going through lots of pain. False unicorn. Here's what it does. It also works on a man's prostate gland. When the man have an enlarged prostate, or the man have a buggy prostate gland, we use false unicorn with what? Saw-palmetto. With what? Nettle root. With what? Hydrangea. With what? Collinsonia. Yeah? When a woman have lots of children and she have a weak uterus, we use false unicorn for women who have weak uterus, preventing uterine prolapse. But if the woman have a uterine prolapse or a bladder prolapse, we also can use this herb with an herb called false unicorn. Yeah? False with another herb called raspberry leaves. Yeah? False unicorn can also be used for infertility. It also can be used for ovarian pain. When a woman have ovarian pain, right here. Ovarian pain, because now the woman ovaries is enlarged and is giving her lots of pain. We use this herb with another herb called blue cohosh. Mark it down for me. False unicorn and blue cohosh can be used for women who is suffering from what? Ovarian pain. And this herb can also be used for women who suffer from amenorrhea, no period. So if you have amenorrhea, meaning that you're not having a period in 6 months, we can use this herb with mother's wort and other plants and chaste tree, and if you are estrogen dominant, we can use some progesterone cream, and your period will come in about 1 to 3 months. Yeah? Last one. Mother's wort. Now you hear me mention this herb on a regular basis. This herb can be used for the heart. It's good for hypertension, high blood pressure. And that's the reason why we're going to talk to the brother in a little while ago, Brother Dino, who we helped formulate the high blood pressure formula in the capsule form. We must use this herb called mother's wort. Why mother's wort? Because mother's wort is what we call an emmenagogue. Right here. What emmenagogue means. Emmenagogue, cholagogues, they do different things. So cholagogue plants work between the gallbladder and the liver. The emmenagogue plants help things to flow. Yeah? So this herb, although it have compounds that act as thyroxine inhibitors, it can work wonderful for people who have hyperthyroid or have grave disease, because it acts as a thyroxine inhibitor if you can mix this herb with lemon balm. And if the heart is palpitating, you can use another herb called bogleweed if the person has hyperthyroid, not hypo, hyper. If you have hypothyroid, meaning that you are not producing thyroxine, this herb is contraindicated. But if you're hyperthyroid, because it acts as a thyroxine inhibitor, it can be used for that condition and also grave disease, but it can be used for people who have high blood pressure because it calms the heart muscle. And this herb acts as a nervine. It calms the nerves. This herb acts also as an antispasmodic, meaning that if you have anything contracting, it stops the contraction of the gallbladder, of the heart, or of the lung. And I said before, it is an emmenagogue because the emmenagogue means that it helps things to flow. It is also important for women who have PMS, premenstrual syndrome, and it is also important for palpitation from hypothyroid and stress-induced hypertension. So if you have high blood pressure, and the high blood pressure is coming from your adrenal glands because the cortisol level keep rising, then you can put this herb into the mixture because it is very significant to use for people or women and men who have stress-induced hypertension. It is also good for menopause anxiety. So when you're going through menopause and it affects the endocrine glands, this herb can be used with Damiana, Kisanderberry for menopause anxiety and even blue vervain. We're going to talk about that in the next program. And this herb can also be used for what? Post-mortem pain. And there are more herbs that is also good for women's health. You know, there's red clover that have isoflavones that shrink tumors. There is orange peel that shrink tumors. So when you have fibroids and they're big, then we can use these plants to help to shrink them naturally by increasing circulation in the uterus. Yeah, wonderful. What can we say again, bro? The man himself. Yeah. So usually now, when you have ovarian cancer, yeah, you either have the what we call the BRCA1, BRCA1, or BRCA2. Because the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene can cause ovarian cancer also, not only uterus. This BRCA gene can also cause ovarian cancer. Yeah? How to take care of the Babylon system jet in it. Once a woman know how to take care of her reproductive system, You can never get breast cancer. You can never get ovarian cancer. You can never get uterine cancer. You can never get cervical cancer. Now, the suffix, I want to mention that tonight also before we leave, yeah? Now, the suffix is important. So when you're pregnant, it's supposed to be closed or open, yeah? The more it's open, you have a miscarriage. Now, when you have cervical dysplasia, yeah? Lots of women go do a pap smear, yeah? And the doctor say, you know what? Lady, you have cervical dysplasia. What does that mean? That means that something is changing, yeah? So the cells in your cervix is changing, yeah? But he don't tell you that cervical dysplasia do not mean that you have cancer in the cervix. Because he ain't know better. So he go and he remove part of the cervix thinking that, or he give you what you call a cone biopsy. But usually, if you, the woman, is lacking in what? Folate acid. You can get cervical dysplasia also. So what I do for women, if they have cervical dysplasia, I give them folate acid, because folate acid deals with what? Cell division in the cervix. So when the cell divide, you don't have dysplasia. So lots of women who is deficient in folate acid will get cervical dysplasia. And also, if this vitamin or part of the B vitamins is lacking in the heart muscle, you can also get troubles in your heart, like what? Left ventricle hypertrophy. And that's the reason why when you have hypertension, I give you folate acid. When you have cervical dysplasia, I give you that, because this will cause the cells to change back to the good cells, so you don't have or get cancer in the cervix. Let's go. Right? Now we come with the brother Dino right now, yeah? My brother. Yeah, man. We there now, man. Yeah. Come, Dino, man. Yeah. But tell this man like he's afraid of the public, man. He's part of the family. Now, where we're going on right now? We're building a black enterprise. You understand? You know what black enterprises? Macy's, JC Penney, and black is enterprises. But we ain't only part of them. So we want to build up a black enterprise like Black Wall Street before they burn it down. Right, brother?
Yes.
Before they burn down Black Wall Street, we had hospitals, we had banks, we had insurance offices in Black Wall Street. Yeah? But anything black that is flourishing, they like to mash it up. So we want to build up a black enterprise again now. So we have to live together. Yeah, we have to fight on each other. We have to live together. So we have to pull up each other. Pull up Ashanti, he pull me up. Pull up Dino, he pull me up too. That's how it's supposed to work, yeah? So we just formulated this come over here, Santa. Glucose control and blood pressure support. Yeah? Formulated by the man Patrick Delves. You understand? And Dino is the lab man. That's the technical man in the back. Look at right here. Yeah? So Dino going to give you some more information later on how we can get this product. I think we're going to have it in Ambrosia just sooner. You could get it on his website. So we're going to give you all the information in a while. Yeah? All right? Right, Dino?
Yes,
sir. Hey, Dino, brother. Yes, sir. Yes. Don't forget, man. We're getting a black enterprise. We're going to make it big. From all over the Caribbean. Jamaicans, Trinidadians, you know what I mean, Grenadians and Vincentians. Forget about politics. We're going to get together and we're going to build a black enterprise. And we're going to have a company that could serve our people. Blessings. All right. So, look at the herbs. Look at the fibroid form of the cell and blood builder, lymphatic drainage. And once you have fibrocystic breast disease, yeah, as a woman, you have lumps in your breast, you must go and get rid of excessive amount of estrogen, and you must go out and drain your lymphatic system to get rid of the fibrocystic breast disease that you have. Yeah? Blessings. All right, brother? You have any progesterone cream, bro?
Huh?
You got any progesterone cream?
Yeah.
Get this for me, please, my brother. Let me just keep the camera on Dino. That's my big son right here. You understand? So you good?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right. Mr. Dino, that's the lab man right there, you know? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have to work together. All right, here we go. Here we go. The average young woman is lacking in this. So the average young woman who is between the age of 20 and 45 is lacking in progesterone. And that's the reason why when you have breast cancer, if you're not PR, progesterone receptor, we give you progesterone because you are now estrogen dominant. So when you have troubles in the reproductive of the woman, and you are estrogen dominant, we make sure we give you this here, because what it does, it bring back up this guy right here to normalize him with what? With estrogen. And once they normalize, your ovaries function better. You don't get ovarian cancer, no ovarian cyst, or uterine fibroids. So don't forget, once you are eating a food that have lots of estrogen, you must do a cleanse of the reproductive system and then get some progesterone cream with your estrogen levels. Okay? And you can prevent breast. You're going to prevent breast cancer. You're going to prevent ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, all them cancers that are affecting our women on a regular basis. Give thanks. Patrick Delves, holistichealing.com, 631-530-2329. Listen love. All right. Give thanks. All right. Hey, son? Yeah. Yeah, man.
Good work.
Sure. Yeah, man.
The doctor himself. I can do that.
Go ahead, son. The woman balance is for women who are suffering from infertility and amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, or menorrhagia, and it helps to balance the hormones. If you can use it with vitamin E, the B complex, calcium and magnesium, and even primazole, it will help you to get pregnant, but it will also help the period to come. Okay? It's called woman balance. Yeah. All right.
So we're gonna use the wide angle lens, right? You can come and see how it looks. Just stand down. You see how I looking?
Yeah.
And then I could just put this light, but that other lens is that sharper one, but so boom. How it look? You look better with the light?
Turn like that. Let me see before the light.
This right here.
Oh.